Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves as we delve into the heart of an economic storm brewing under the Biden-Harris administration. As the economy stumbles, many are left questioning, are we on the brink of another financial disaster? For the third consecutive day, stock markets have plummeted, stirring fears of a global recession. The Dow Jones is down over 1,000 points, and the S&P 500 just experienced its worst day since the 2022 market sell-off, erasing $1.4 trillion in mere hours. This is what President Trump has dubbed the Kamala crash. With Japan's stock market suffering its worst day since Black Monday of 1987, investors are anxious about the economic spiral seemingly fueled by Bidenomics.
Bidenomics is working.
Bidenomics, they call it, a strategy they tout as the savior of the American economy. But let's peel back the layers. Critics argue that this approach is doing more harm than good. As the economy teeters, the cracks in Bidenomics are becoming glaringly evident. Under the Biden-Harris administration, the specter of inflation looms large. Prices are up over 20%, hitting everyday Americans where it hurts most, their wallets. From gas prices soaring by 40% to meat prices up by 21%, the cost of living is squeezing families across the nation. But what's causing this inflationary pressure? Experts point to the administration's massive spending bills as a catalyst. Billions spent under the guise of economic recovery are now seen as driving inflation to new heights. The irony? These are the same policies praised for curing the economy. High interest rates, intended to combat inflation, are instead wreaking havoc on the housing market. Mortgage rates have more than doubled, leaving potential homeowners in the lurch. The dream of homeownership is slipping away for many as the reality of higher monthly payments sets in. And it's not just homeowners who are feeling the pinch. While job numbers seem positive on the surface, a deeper dive reveals a different story. The jobs being touted are largely government-funded, a temporary fix rather than a long-term solution. And let's talk about real income. Adjusted for inflation, American families have seen their income drop by over $2,000 under the current administration, reversing the gains made in previous years. The Biden-Harris administration's policies extend beyond spending and taxes. Their proposed Green New Deal and tax reforms are raising eyebrows across the political spectrum.
I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
But at what cost? The Green New Deal promises free everything, from housing to education. But who's footing the bill? Critics argue it's a $90 trillion fantasy that will bankrupt the nation. From raising corporate taxes to imposing taxes on unrealized gains, the administration's tax agenda is ambitious, but many question its feasibility. These economic policies are not just numbers and graphs. They have real-world implications. They are reshaping the political landscape and sparking debates about the future direction of the country. As we inch closer to the 2024 elections, voters are faced with critical choices. Do these policies represent progress, or are they a step towards economic ruin? President Biden and Vice President Harris have positioned themselves as champions of the working class, yet their policies seem to be doing the opposite. It's time to hold our leaders accountable for their promises and their failures. From Biden's gaffes to Harris's questionable economic strategies, it's clear the current administration's handling of the economy is far from perfect. So what does the future hold? With rising inflation, potential tax hikes, and economic uncertainty, Americans are bracing for impact. But it's not too late to demand change. We must push for policies that genuinely support economic growth, innovation, and the American dream. The economic challenges we face are a direct result of failed leadership and misguided policies. It's time for change. As we approach the next election, Americans must demand accountability and advocate for policies that prioritize economic stability and growth. The future of our nation depends on informed, active participation in the democratic process. Will we continue down the path of economic decline, or will we choose leaders who are committed to real solutions and prosperity for all?